We are worried about the bleak future of agriculture, propelled among other factors by the low interest among the youth. This video is a call on you to join the vanguard to secure our agro-eco environment for life sustenance.
Climate change is here. Climate change is not something we can stop, naturally speaking, but we can reduce the effect climate change has on our crops and eventually on our health. Before now, we had a system called shifting cultivation in operation. The system is still very much alive, but not practiced as much as it was practiced in about 10, 15 years ago. Reasons being that shifting cultivation actually is allowing land to fallow after a particular period of time so that the land can recover. You have the natural course of events, living things defecate, urinate, die, decay. Other plant parts fall, get moisture and decay, helping the soil to recover from deposits of toxins. But these days we have continuous cropping because land is insufficient, population growth, urbanization. Then we also have case of a farmer header crisis that reduce the amount of land that can be cultivated. So what we have now is continuous cropping. So when there's continuous cropping and you keep putting synthetic materials, especially fertilizers and pesticides, year in, year out, year in, year out, NPK, urea, pesticide, NPK, urea, pesticide, which are chemicals, which are synthetics, you don't give the land room to recover. So it's like we're increasing the amount of toxins in the soil. We have now come to a point where we are harvesting part of the toxins with the crop. And eventually it now affects human health. It has already affected the market for Nigerian produce. We see our produce rejected at international markets, at export markets because of the level of toxins.
My name is Ojo Stanley Anthony.
We are here today to talk to the students, to encourage them to get involved in agro-sustainable activities. And because we want to demonstrate by planting a few trees with them.
My name is Jeff Tatisu. I've been a teacher of agricultural science for about 18 years now. From the experience I've gathered, right from when I started teaching, I had students having laxity over agricultural science students. Most of them felt when you're an agricultural science student, or when you go to agriculture, it means you are a farmer, a typical farmer, and you're supposed to be in the village. But from what we have gathered, after some time, especially when trade subjects were introduced, we have actually advocated the fact that agric is it's something that can make you earn a living in life. So we, in most cases, when we teach them, we encourage them to venture into agriculture as a trade and as something that can actually make you earn a living in life. And recent times, I thank God, what I've actually seen in my classes, most students they are zealous to go into venture into agricultural science as a business and no longer as typical farmers in the village.
My name is Musa Mustafa. I'm the agri teacher of Temple Gates College. My students in agric are very, very good, although most of them are picking up the pace because growing up in the town is not, or they are not too familiar with, agriculture, but over time they are picking up interest, especially when they plant a particular crop. It's amazing how they see it grow. So it's kind of like quickening their interest in agric the more.
We are all aware of the environmental hazards that we're facing. There's environmental pollution, there's greenhouse effect, and greenhouse gases all around. And we are coming today to encourage them to plant, because God has created a synergy between the humanity and plants. Humans take in oxygen and release carbon dioxide to the environment, which carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas. So plants in turn take in the greenhouse gas, which is carbon dioxide, to manufacture their food and give us oxygen. So there's that balance, and it creates a very healthy environment if we maintain a good tree planting system in our environment.
My name is Imote Augustine Uju, a student of Joseph Sarwan Antaka University. Plastics have been a global environmental issue for a very long time, and today we are here to enlighten the public about the benefits of reusing and recycling plastics.
So this reminds us that we have to sit back and review our activities and to take strategic steps in order to protect the earth, because we don't have any other planet that we have to live in. We have to put in all efforts to protect our generation from destruction as a result of lack of resources, and to preserve the resources as a heritage for the incoming generations. In other ways, we always try to promote the concept of sustainable development. And today's theme is very strategic. It's about plastics. The slogan is Beat Plastic Solution. Plastics have become a serious menace in the society. You have all manner of plastics going in, as if there's nothing else that can be used. Plastics are replacing all the things that we used to have in those days. And they cannot be easily managed.
There's a lot to be done. If you look at the area of pest control, that's one area that has attacked our ecosystem, creating an imbalance in the ecosystem. Because when you look at the organisms that fly around in our farms or move around in the soil to help in agricultural activities, when you are spraying toxic pests, synthetic pests that go straight to kill, you are not just killing those ones that are disturbing your crops on the farm, you are also killing the ones that are not disturbing your farm. For example, we have organisms called pollinators. We have bees, we have butterflies, and the rest of them. We also have organisms like the earthworm and other worms that help us in soil activity. So when you spray pesticides to kill, you also kill these organisms. But when we had shifting cultivation, it wasn't really too much of a challenge, because that 1 year or 2 years you allow the soil to recover, these animals reproduce. I know they are highly prolific organisms. They reproduce faster and populate themselves again before you now come to disturb them. But when it continues cropping and you're spraying pesticide every single year, you are reducing the population of pollinators, you are reducing the population of other good organisms that help agricultural activities within the ecosystem. So you are creating an imbalance. So with our generation now, or within this period that we are, a farmer can get bad yield or poor yield because of poor pollination, not really because of poor fertilizer or poor seed. Those are factors that cannot be denied. If you don't fertilize, you don't have good seeds. Yeah, but I'm saying that it is possible that a farmer can have poor yield because of poor pollination. Without pollination, the crops cannot, in quote, get pregnant and give birth for us to yield fruit. So that is one area. When you look at the ecosystem, we have come up with a biopesticide that does not kill pests. It only stops pests from feeding on the crop that you have sprayed it on. So you are protecting your crop, but at the same time preserving the ecosystem. Then with the aspect of fertilizer, when you continue putting synthetic fertilizers consistently on a plot of land for years, you are creating a high level of acidity. You are just increasing acidity. When the acid becomes too much, you will not have, it reduces even the shelf life of the crop. and then it also makes the environment a bit toxic for organisms. And once that happens, you still have an imbalance in the life in the ecosystem. Eventually we'll now begin to harvest food that is not good or cannot last long. For example, our yams now have a shelf life of 4 to 5 months, as against 9, 10, 11 months that we used to have. I remember my mother used to have yam. The yam will be in the store until the next planting season of the yam. We'll finish planting, we'll still have yam from the previous season in our store. You can't do that now. And if your yam is cut, 2 days it starts getting rotten. It was not like that before. As you are peeling yam these days, you see the color change right on your hand in less than 3-4 minutes. It was not so in the days of our mothers. That's an indication that what we're eating now is not as healthy as what they used to eat. So, for the ecosystem, if everything just works together, if we manage the ecosystem well by making sure toxins are not too much infused in our ecosystem, our soil will be healthier, our food will be healthier, the air we breathe will be healthier. Eventually, we also will live healthier.
We want to ensure that our environment is safe for even agricultural production. And we have come to this school, Government Model Secondary School, Makurdi, to catch these students young, because they are the future leaders. They are the leaders of tomorrow. And if we begin to inculcate good practices, good environmental practices in them at a tender age, they will grow up protecting the environment and carrying out practices that will enhance our environment.
I'm Teve Viarin and I'm in SS1 Science A at Government Model Secondary School. I like the subject Agric a lot because it teaches me a lot about my environment, about the food we eat daily, and about everything going on in the environment, and how to preserve food, which is the most important thing in life. I would like to practice agriculture because I love food science a lot. I would like to thank them a lot for teaching us how to keep the environment clean, how to stop throwing plastics everywhere, how to stop throwing leather bags and different nylons everywhere, for teaching us how to plant trees. Like here, it's a palm kernel tree I'm holding here, and it's one of the most vital cash crops in Nigeria. It produces palm oil, which is very useful.
My name is Edomatthew Adole, and I'm the labor prefect of the school. The subject agriculture is just like an interesting subject in which it exposes the students to for a better future. Like the person who studies agriculture, like when he goes out, he's just self-taught, he can be self-employed.
I've learned that planting trees and other crops in our environment helps to prevent erosion and also keeps the environment clean. I'll indulge into agri to also invent new machineries to help cultivate plants.
My name is Teso Sushate. I'm a student from Temple Gate College. The benefit of the tree planting is that it helps us get more fruit. It can help us generate income from these plants that we have planted here. Yes, it will be able to provide us with fresh air that we can breathe in, and also it helps beautify the environment and make our school look better. In the near future, I try to go deeper into agriculture and see the ways and also the benefits, the pros and cons of agriculture as a subject and as a practice in general.
We need more people to come into this course to help us create awareness on how to sustain our environment. It will work because we are working with other related bodies. And we intend to collaborate with other organizations, non-governmental organizations. We intend to collaborate with the government. We are excited because the new governor of Benue State, His Excellency Governor Hyson Alia, is someone who is open and ready to work with young people, youths who have got ideas, good ideas, great ideas. He's willing to support them. And we are happy about that because we will seek for support and collaboration from them. We intend to work with the government and other non-governmental organizations, individual businesses, corporate companies, and all of those who have the interest of agric at heart, so that we make this thing a big deal. We catch them young. Our focus, like we said earlier, our target audience are the secondary school students, senior secondary school students, and young people who just graduate and feel like agric is not a venture to go into. We want them to know at this point in time that agric is much more than just going to the farm. We intend to make them see how agric can be married to the various subjects or fields that interest them. You can do agric and you can marry agric with tech. Right now with tech, everything is made simple, everything is made easy. So if you're going into agric proper, it's not just about you going to the farm.
How do we put this youthful energy that we have in our youth into agriculture? Because youth have a lot of energy, and in society you cannot agree with me that this energy is channeled into things that are not really beneficial to society. Recently, we have had a discussion, and which is going to lead to a partnership with the National Association of Agricultural Students, Benue State chapter. Of course, the head office now is in Benue State. The chief guy is the national chairman from the University of Agriculture here, now called Joseph Sawan Taka University. We have had talks with them. They have attended one of our meetings. So we are working with them because they are in school and the school has land. They even tried some production last year with little result, and we intend to support them this year. Get them to do demonstrations of some of the things they are learning in school so that it can be used for learning purposes and even to raise a revenue for the organization as time goes on. We intend to
organize seminars, organize awareness, organize workshops where we talk to the teachers, we train them on how to carry out various activities with the students. We intend to have social events where we bring in secondary schools, different secondary schools to come together, meet. We talk about climate resilient agriculture. And when we talk about climate resilient agriculture, that means those practices or techniques that are designed to withstand and adapt the impacts of climate change. When we have climate change, there are various impacts that we experience, sometimes droughts, sometimes floods, and all of that. So why we talk about climate resilient agriculture is because we want to ensure, we want the young ones to know that there are ways to do in order to, adapt this impact. When you talk about adapting is, okay, the flood has already happened, the drought has already happened. How are we going to adapt to this? You now look out for possible ways of ensuring that, okay, this doesn't happen again. Or even if it happens, it doesn't affect our agricultural activities again. So what are the possible ways of doing that? By diversifying the crops we use, or improving our soil health, or efficiently managing water resources. So those are the various strategies that you can use in enhancing resilience of agricultural systems.
Yeah, to get to the farmer is one area that we are finding a bit challenging, because we need two structures to get to the farmer. The first is agricultural extension. Agricultural extension is a subsect of agriculture that makes sure that whatever research comes up with as a result gets to the individual farmer or the final consumer of such results. So we need to strengthen our extension network, where every council ward of every local government in Benue State will have the required number of extension agents, the required number of demonstration farms, so that what I'm saying here can be told to the farmer and demonstrated in a small plot where the farmer can see at the end of the season, whether wet season or dry season. It's on record that when farmers are able to see demonstration of results on a demo field, it takes just 1 year for them to adopt innovation. But when you don't do demo plots, you don't do extension services, it takes a period of 4 to 5 years before technology is adopted, because it becomes a trial and error kind of exercise. Some employ it, they get nothing. Probably maybe they didn't follow guidelines. Some employ it, they get result. From the guy who got result, there will be news. From the guy who didn't get result, there will still be news. So some say this is not working, some say it's working. So it takes a period of back and forth comments and expressions for 4 or 5 years before we now get it there. It's exemplified in the period when we started doing weed control using herbicides. Some of the people that started spraying herbicides were not trained. So they'll go and spray, especially when you are spraying crops that are climbers, like yam, potatoes, and the rest. They now spray and kill people's farms. And that sends a bad message. This thing is not good. It's killing people's farms. While another person who got somebody who was well trained sprayed and got results. So it took about 4 or 5 years before farmers adopted spraying of herbicides for weed control. The same is now happening with organic agriculture.
Limited resources is the number one, the very first challenge that we have. Because as young people coming up, we are just passionate about agric, we're passionate about climate change, and we're just struggling to make these things work in every possible way we can and every little way we can. So finances, resources are a major challenge at this time. And expertise, knowledge and expertise. You know, when you want to engage yourself in courses like this, you need to update your knowledge frequently. You need to attend courses, you need to attend events, you need to update your knowledge and expertise. And that also involves finances, because you cannot do this without finances. So that is another major challenge. Another challenge is cultural and behavioral barriers. Cultural and behavioral barriers, because if you talk to someone about climate resilient agriculture and you tell them that in order to preserve our land through agricultural practices, you need to change the kind of crops you plant in a particular land for a period of time, so as to, you know, allow the land function very well on your crops. Change, if you're planting yams this year, maybe next year you change, you plant rice or something different. But at home, that's for core farmers who engage in farming activities. It is difficult to let them understand due to our cultural beliefs. Some believe that, okay, as I'm farming yam here, this portion of land is best for my yams. I'll continue to farm yams year in, year out, and it will give me good results. But for us to have a climate resilient agricultural practice, we need to involve ourselves in this. Let's rotate the way we carry out our farm activities. So that is also a challenge because of this. We need policies and regulations that will also help in carrying out this. And then climate variability and uncertainty. When you're doing, when you talk about climate resilient agriculture, we all know that climate is not certain. You may think that, okay, because this year we are having flood, it's rainy and we're experiencing flood, I want to do things that will actually stop flood from affecting our environment, or the place is a portion of land where you're having your farms, and then the climate will change. And for someone else to understand what's going on in your head, it's quite difficult. So getting people to partner with us, but we are hopeful that with time and commitment, people will be willing to, partnering with us.
So tech is a medium where it's going to help you bring ease to yourself and then help you make more money, just like you said. As an agricultural person, you may lack the mechanized tools to farm, but when you bring in tech into what you are doing, it eases your work. No need of you going to the farm, no need of even you going to till the soil. You just bring the robot, it does what you want to do for you, and then you relax. The only thing you do is just count all the money for yourself, right? So that's what tech is going to do in the agricultural sector.
One of the things that pushed me into this was growing up in my secondary school. Usually when you resume from school and periods like this, when it's rainy days, you're assessed based on what you're able to do. We are given portions of land where we go there, we do, practical agric, where you don't get to just sit in class and hear your teacher tell you about things. You're given your portion of the land and hoe, cutlass, whatever it is that you need. You prepare the land and you farm, whatever it is that you're given, if it's yam, if it's soybeans, and whatever it is, you prepare the land, you make the heaps or the ridges, whichever is suitable for what you're making at that time, and you're assessed based on that. When it's time for weeding, you weed off the grasses. When it's time for harvesting, you harvest. You put everything in place, you submit to your agric teacher. That gave us first-hand experience, and that is what is lacking right now. And that actually grew my passion. When I grew up, when I graduated from the university, because of my love for media, I explored different things. I worked with the television, worked with the radio. And I knew that, okay, I still felt there was something missing on the inside of me. There is something you actually need to do. If you enjoy doing these things and then now you ask questions and you don't find young people engaging in agric, then it means you're not doing well or good enough. And I picked up the challenge and I decided to venture into this. And I'm grateful for the results I'm getting so far. I was opportuned to talk at an art exhibition a few days ago, and the reception parents and schools gave me was amazing. As a matter of fact, schools are beginning to call us to come over to their schools and talk to their students and get them to believe in agriculture. So it's a good thing. I'm glad I'm taking this dimension, and I know that my passion for agric, my passion for media, my passion for culture is going to come together. I'm going to merge everything together. And the most exciting thing about it is we are going to marry all of these other subjects that interest the students together. We are going to let them see how beautiful it is. If you're a lover of fashion, we're going to make you see how you can marry fashion and agric to get what you want. How you can marry culture and agric to see how amazing it can come out. And tech, you cannot do anything without technology right now. Tech is the in thing. So we're going to be teaching them tech and agric, culture and agric, media and agric, how you use all of these things to also, put out yourself out there, market yourself, and sell yourself.
Play your part. Play it well for the sake of the future.